Hello everyone and welcome to the Cobra Corner. In today's episode I'm going to be reviewing episode 2 of season 4, titled First Learn Stand. I have to mention that this will not be a spoiler-free review and I will dive deep into the spoilers, so if you're yet to watch season 4 of Cobra Kai or Cobra Kai in general, now would be the time to avoid this video. Our episode begins and it introduces us to a new character named Kenny, and he is playing a medieval video game before he gets ready for school. Whilst waiting for the school bus, the other students on the bus notice him breaking out some questionable dance moves, which leads the bus full of students to ridicule him, with Anthony LaRusso joining in as well. We then get back to Miyagi-Fang. Johnny and Daniel still can't get over their differences, but come to a compromise where Daniel will teach Johnny about the way of Miyagi-Do, as well as Johnny teaching Daniel Eagle Fang Karate. Switching scenes, we get an interesting interaction between Amanda LaRusso and Tori as Amanda visited Tori at her job. They get into an argument with Amanda ordering Tori to leave Sam alone, and the altercation actually results in Tori getting fired after she has an outburst towards another customer. We then return to our new character Kenny at school, where he completely embarrasses Anthony and some of his friends at basketball, not with any malicious intentions, but just an accident. This in turn irritates Anthony, but Anthony's friends try and escalate the situation. Back at Miyagi-Fang, Johnny is learning Miyagi-Do techniques, but is completely against it. Daniel reminds him that there was nobody more badass than Mr. Miyagi, and that the technique saved him on more than one occasion. Of course, Daniel is referring to Karate Kid 2, in which Miyagi saved Johnny from Kreese after the tournament, and in the final episode of last season as well, in which Daniel saved Johnny from Kreese at the dojo using the techniques that Chosen actually taught him in Okinawa. At the Cobra Kai dojo, Robbie is teaching Miyagi-Do techniques, but not before Kreese intervenes and states that Miyagi-Do's entire style is reactive and they use counter techniques, which works to Cobra Kai's advantage because they can set traps. Kreese can see that Tori is aggravated and pulls her into his office, where she speaks to him about her job struggles. Kenny speaks to his father, who is serving in the United States Army, and in conversation with his dad it is revealed that something happened to Kenny's brother. Kenny has been speaking to what he thinks is Leah, who he met at the school and is playing with her online. Back at Miyagi-Do, Johnny is going through some of the Miyagi-Do techniques, and although for the most part he seems to be moving smoothly with them, he doesn't see himself ever using them in a fight. Daniel reiterates that Miyagi-Do is not an offensive style, and that Mr. Miyagi believed the best defense was no be there, which Johnny finds ridiculous. Now that Johnny has had a taste of Miyagi-Do, he reminds Daniel that it's now his turn to learn Eagle Fang Karate. Kenny continues to talk to Leah and make small talk, but little does he know he's not speaking to Leah, but to actually Anthony LaRusso and his other tormentors from school. It seems like Anthony is trying to fit in with the popular kids at the expense of coming across as a bully. He actually seems reluctant to engage in this sort of behaviour, but does so anyway so he doesn't get picked on the same way Kenny is. Meanwhile, we switch back to Amanda, who is doing some grocery shopping at the supermarket, and then Kreese shows up and informs Amanda of Tori's struggles with having an ill mother struggling to pay the bills, which Amanda of course didn't know at the time. We come back to Johnny and Daniel, where Daniel is being put through his paces, and like Johnny, Daniel actually does pretty well training in a different style. Kenny meets up with Anthony and his friends, who ridicule him and start filming him. Kenny, feeling humiliated, attempts to stop them from filming, and doing so he breaks Anthony's phone. In this mix-up, the bullies become aggravated and attack Kenny. The bullies try and convince Anthony to use karate on Kenny, but ultimately in a combination of Anthony not knowing karate, as well as the fact that at heart he's not actually a cruel person and is just trying to fit in, he doesn't use karate, which allows Kenny to escape and a chase ensues. You can draw parallels between this chase and the chase after the Halloween dance in Karate Kid, but on this occasion the victim of the chase manages to avoid a beating. Johnny's final phase of Eagle Fang training for Daniel brings them to a hockey game, where Johnny attempts to start a fight between Daniel and the hockey players, a ploy to try and get Daniel to be aggressive. During this, I noticed that for someone with such a temper and so easily aggravated, Johnny is not all bothered by the hockey players insinuating that him and Daniel are a couple. A nice little Easter egg in this episode is that the three Cobra Kai producers, John Hurwitz, Hayden Schlossberg, and Josh Heald, are three of the hockey players actually. Daniel manages to evade the fight and de-escalates it, although after this game the players find Daniel and verbally abuse him. Johnny vanishes and Daniel continues to handle the situation remarkably well, until the hockey players go a step too far when talking about Daniel's wife, and Daniel finally shows his aggression, although it's an extremely one-sided affair. Johnny returns after the fight with a pretzel, and when questioned on why he wasn't there, he replies, no be there, a reference to, obviously, what Daniel had told Johnny the best defense was earlier in the episode. Tori shows up at the dealership and rejects Amanda's peace offering. Amanda bought Tori some groceries and wants the rivalry to end, but Tori claims it has lit a fire under her. We switch back to Kenny, who is speaking about the negative impact starting at a new school has had on him, and the terrible bullying he has received. One of his bullies even knows karate. It is then revealed that Kenny is speaking to Sean, a juvenile prisoner who Robbie met and in the end befriended in Season 3 of Cobra Kai. Sean tells Kenny not to worry, and he also tells Kenny that he knows someone who can help before the episode ends. I really enjoyed this episode. It introduced us to a new character in Kenny, and I think that during this episode we see this character already change a little bit. At the start of the episode he is a free spirit, a happy-go-lucky, innocent kid pretty much, with not a bad bone in his body, but by the end of the episode he's dejected and fed up of his bullying ordeal and is looking for the answer, which I think Sean will provide for him in recommending Robbie to him. For Daniel and Johnny, I think they learnt a lot about each other's karate styles, and both of them have a better understanding of each other because of it now. The Miyagi-Fang alliance has survived 2 episodes, which is 2 more episodes than I thought it could ever survive. It is intriguing seeing Amanda trying to put things right with Tori, and I do think that her reaching out is genuine and not a scheme. It will be interesting to see how far it actually goes though, and if the fire on the Tori and Sam rivalry will ever be extinguished. I can't wait to see how Amanda and Tori's relationship plays out too. Amanda seems concerned for Tori's welfare, so who knows, it could be the most unlikely of friendships to come out of the Cobra Kai series. That's all we have time for today on the Cobra Corner. Make sure to leave your thoughts below on how you felt about this episode. I really think things are coming together for now, and piece by piece a great story is being built. Thanks for watching, leave your thoughts below and I'll see you on the next one.